Well, welcome to the Rees Company, folks. And in the episode you're about to see, Steve, we had some kind of weird visual issue going on.
I've never seen anything like this.
And this is a hoodie I wear often on the show. We never had this problem before, but somehow in this show, it looks like it's pulsating, I think is the word we agreed on.
Right.
It goes from light to darker, back to light. We don't know what's going on.
Like we're somehow watching it respirate.
Yeah, it's weird, and I hope it's not too distracting. Otherwise, enjoy the show.
The Rees Company.
By the way, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm.
All right. People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here. Too many 40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry. It's going to change. Be nice.
That ain't working.
I want you to be nice.
That ain't working.
And you'll both be nice.
So much as my wife was a giant, but
I want you to be nice until it's time to not be nice.
no, I'm pretty sure that's the way you do it.
The Rees Company.
Crack open a tepid Genesee, watch the pictures as they travel through your neighbor's Wi-Fi. It's the Rees Company. I'm Steve Rees, the bull of American broadcasting, alongside the great Chris Morganti. How are you, Chris?
I'm good.
You excited about this week's feature?
I feel like this is going to be a slog, man.
Perhaps.
This was a job to do.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, it's always a job.
Fair enough.
Sometimes it's easier than others, but it's always a job. But we do it because we love it. Let's just dive right into our movie of the week of the week. This week's movie of the week is called The Woman Who Loved Elvis.
Okay.
Now, I understand this was not the motion picture you thought it was going to be.
I thought it would have a lot more to do with Elvis,
Right.
but it really had nothing to do with it at all.
He's there as a figure, as kind of an idol, but not as a major plot point.
Yeah. It's almost as if the character had no defining quality, so they gave her this weird thing to hang off of.
Obsession with Elvis, yeah. It aired on ABC on April 18th, 1993. It stars Roseanne Barr. Then she was known as Roseanne Arnold because she was married to Tom Arnold, who also appears in this motion picture.
Yeah, she was also known as Judy Tenuta at the time. Oh no, those are two different people.
Two different people, surprisingly. I understand the confusion, but yeah,
pig.
So,
who did you think was funnier?
Oh, Roseanne.
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought Judy was funny though. Like,
oh man,
the accordion and stuff.
Yeah, accordion. Never got it.
Yeah,
never got it. So Roseanne Barr and Tom Arnold at the time were husband and wife.
Okay,
sort of a showbiz power couple.
Ooh, yeah,
of the early '90s.
Yeah.
But with a very uneven balance of said power.
Yeah, right. Tom Arnold is, I don't know. He's been in a few things. Right?
Yeah. But at the time, he was widely regarded as a hanger-on.
Yeah.
Latching on to Roseanne's star. And who knows what the truth is. We talked about this on a previous episode with Ellen and Anne Heche.
Okay.
And in retrospect, it's really hard to tell how much of that is true and how much of that is just people's perception of somebody falling in love with somebody they can't imagine being on their own level.
It's also hard to care about. That's just me.
Well, for some reason, people do.
Yeah.
So Roseanne, at the time, she was the star of her eponymous sitcom on ABC, rather.
Yeah.
And this motion picture, The Woman Who Loved Elvis, is based on the book Graceland by a woman called Laura Kalpakian.
Okay.
It was directed by Bill Bixby. You know that name.
The Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
He also appeared beside Elvis himself in the films Clambake and Speedway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
But his Elvis association doesn't end there, yeah?
Clambake and Speedway. Now, I'm going to guess. Clambake was literally about a clam bake. And in Speedway, he played a race car driver.
Yes.
Yeah. Not a lot of depth to those movies at all. Did he make any good movies?
Yeah. Jailhouse Rock was a good one.
Okay. All right. I never saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Bill Bixby also presented his Elvis association did not end with appearing with Elvis in motion pictures. Bill Bixby presented a 1991 syndicated TV special examining evidence that Elvis might be still alive.
Oh, Jesus.
So The Woman Who Loved Elvis, and if you haven't figured it out, the titular woman who loved Elvis is played by Roseanne Barr. This takes place in 1982. And Roseanne, she plays Joyce Jackson, a separated mother of two. Names of her kids, Chris?
I don't know, but why set this back a decade? It would have made no difference to just have it be in present day. Why put that extra effort on yourself?
Because things happened in this motion picture on the day Elvis died. So in order to put them closer...
But I remember he died in 1977.
Yeah, so
right.
This is 5 years after he passed away.
Oh, okay. All right, I guess that makes sense.
So certain things have to occur within this 5-year period in order for these people to be at this age.
Okay, all right.
All right. So Joyce Jackson, she's Roseanne's character, mother of two. The names of her kids, Chris, I'll ask again.
I don't know.
Priscilla and Lisa Marie.
Oh, great.
Joyce, she's also a welfare recipient, and she has a new caseworker called Emily Shaw, who visits the Jackson home to introduce herself. Let's see this.
You certainly have Elvis's whole life here, don't you? Young and old.
Well, he never got to be old, did he? He died when he was only 42. I'm gonna be 42 sometime. It just leaves you a lot to live up to, you know, all the things he did in those few mortal years, all the gifts he gave the world. Are you a fan? Because people who don't like Elvis, you just can't trust them at all. Are you a fan?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Now, do you supplement your income with the sewing?
Oh, that? Oh, no, that goes to the poor. My girlfriend Sandy helps me deliver, you know, ever since my car died. Hey, maybe you could help me out sometime. How did you become a caseworker?
Yeah, I just want to say, no matter who you are, with the exception of a few extreme cases, one of your aims in life should be never to have a caseworker.
Yeah, and if you say you're donating stuff to the poor when you're collecting, well, you are the poor. You're collecting welfare. I'm donating this to the poor. You mean yourself? However, you know, Steve, I don't want to be accused of hypocrisy here. You know, do you not remember there was a few months in the 90s when we ourselves were
well, we hit a difficult spot.
We were on the dole.
Yeah.
In fact, I even pulled a clip from one of our old shows. You remember our old show, Spice Guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Well, I pulled this clip.
Okay, let's take a look. Welcome back to Spice Guys, your source for everything Spice Girl related. This week, we're talking about their hugely successful, sold-out North American tour. But before we get into that, Chris, you have a breaking news story.
Yeah, we have a Spice Guys exclusive. It's a photo of Monica Lewinsky's car. You know, Linda Tripp told her not to wash that car.
Well, thanks for that, Chris. We have a caller. Caller, are you there?
Hey, guys, it's Terry, your welfare caseworker.
Oh, hey, I didn't know you were a Spice Girls fan.
I'm not, but I was just reviewing your expenses, and you guys spent all of last month's check on Genesee cream ale and blank VHS tapes.
Well, that's not true. I also bought some food from Arby's for a lady friend.
And we're fueled creatively by Genesee.
So what about the VHS tapes?
Well, you know, we got to get our show out there.
Yeah.
Build a buzz.
Yeah, we have to promote ourselves. The last thing we want is to be 25 years into this and only have 70 people watching our show.
Well, surely that would never happen, Steve.
Right.
I don't know how this show is going to take off. Aren't the Spice Girls breaking up?
They're not breaking up. Ginger's just taking a sabbatical to work on her solo career. Their best work is still ahead of them. They're not breaking up.
Yeah, see, you're upsetting Chris. Chris, relax.
Right.
Relax. Tell us about the screenplay you're writing.
Oh, Titanic 2, The Revenge. I think Jerry Hollowell would be great in the lead role.
Well, she'll have plenty of time for it since she broke up the Spice Girls.
They're not breaking up. Okay, well, I'm glad you brought that to us so that we can be honest about our past.
Okay.
And not be, what would you call it, hypocritically critical.
Right.
Of those less fortunate.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's check in on Emily. She's the caseworker. She's still chatting with Joyce. Joyce gets emotional over the memory of Elvis.
Sometimes when I'm out and I hear his music, it's like he's still present, like he's still giving to us. When I was young and feeling blue, my parents were very strict churchgoers, so strict, as a matter of fact, that there was just never any room for laughter. Well, anyway, I would take an Elvis pill to get through. That's what I call them, my small doses of happiness. That's how I thought of his music, that it could heal me.
Yeah. I'm Roseanne in that scene if you switch the caseworker with the Midco installer and Elvis with the gin blossoms.
The what installer?
The Midco comes over to hook up your cable.
Oh, okay.
As the two get deeper into their personal lives, Emily is engaged, by the way. Joyce talks about her marriage to Jack. We'll see him a lot later. He'll be played by Tom Arnold.
Okay.
Still, you need a man. Well, a husband.
Wait.
Well, look at me.
Now, that's not... We will see him later, but if you're watching this movie, you saw him in the opening going for a leisurely motorcycle ride of, I would guess, upwards of 3 minutes. That's what they decided to put in this TV movie. Tom Arnold riding a motorcycle. Sorry to interrupt.
My husband's not here right now. And matter of fact, he hadn't been under this roof since the day the king died. Sandy, my best friend, we discovered the king together in 1956. Anyway, Sandy is forever breathing on me, get a new man, but I'd have to fling that new man out the back door when Jack comes in the front door. And he is coming back. He's coming home. Oh, honey, you don't need a man. You need the right man. And the right man will set you on fire.
Doesn't Tom Arnold's character already live with like a whole nother family?
Yeah. Well, we're getting to that.
Oh, okay. All right.
But before we do, Emily has one final question for Joyce.
Oh, boy.
Well, what do you want to do with your life?
Well, yeah, Chris?
2, 3 bills? What is it?
Oh, come on. She asked her, what do you want to do with your life? Let's hear what Joyce has to say.
All right.
I'd like to continue Elvis's work. You want to be a rock and roll star?
Yeah, she wants to continue Elvis's work. So,
What does that mean?
well, I think we're going to find out shortly.
Oh, okay.
As Emily goes to leave, she's met outside by Priscilla, the daughter, or Scylla, as she's called. Scylla asks Emily, the caseworker, to be discreet about her visits because a state car parked outside connotes that the Jacksons are on public assistance. And she doesn't want her classmates to know about this because she wants to be a babaloo.
Okay.
Those are the popular girls at school.
Oh.
They call themselves by that ridiculously cool name.
Now, I wonder if there's any... If you shame people into... if you shame people for accepting welfare, does it motivate them at all? I wonder if there's any studies to that effect. Having the Department of Ohio or Iowa welfare car parked outside your house, some people would be not happy about that.
Right. I believe there are motivating factors to such a thing among certain people.
Yeah. But other people probably like,
Yeah, who cares? It's just a way of life around here.
Right.
Right. Yeah. There's So Scylla wants to be a babaloo. Those are the popular girls. And as she's telling Emily about this, Joyce re-enters the scene.
All right. Only morning visits. No afternoons. Thank you.
What are you doing out here? What, I'd go to the bathroom and you just ditch your homework?
Yeah, she went to the bathroom, so I guess you can say she finished Elvis's work.
But what does she mean? So, do we know what she means by?
Well, she does seem to have a relationship with Elvis that a lot of people have with Christ.
Oh.
And she speaks of him in the same way that a lot of Christians will speak of Christ. So her attitude toward Elvis's contributions to the world were his kindness and his thoughtfulness and his generosity. And those are things she espouses as things she wants to bring to the world.
Weird. That's what I had to say about that. This is a real person, right? This is based on a real person?
It is not. It's
This
based
is a work of fiction?
It's based on a novel, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So Scylla, by the way, the daughter there, she's played by Danielle Harris, who also portrayed Roseanne's neighbor in the sitcom. Joyce was holding a quilt in that scene. You might have seen that. She presented Emily with it as a gift. She said it was a family heirloom that Emily can use to keep herself warm while her fiancé is back east finishing law school.
Weird. Again, weird.
Well, she's being Elvis-like.
Okay.
Spreading cheer and kindness. Now, I'm sure the social work field is populated by two types, Chris.
Okay.
Idealistic folks who want to affect positive change in society, and ex-NHL players who are court-ordered to become social workers after getting caught gambling on hockey games.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, maybe that last one was just the premise of the Norm Macdonald show. But I'm sure it's happened a time or two. But I don't want to talk about the second group. I want to talk about the first one, the optimistic ones, the idealists. I'm sure many of their shining lights dim after seeing their best efforts amount to nothing.
Okay. I mean, that seems kind of harsh, but all right.
Well, I think we're about to see something to that effect because these people get bitter, they get jaded, and Emily's supervisor appears to be one such case.
Okay.
Heartbreak Hotel.
Beg pardon?
We call it Heartbreak Hotel. I suppose she lavished praise on Jack Jackson and told you he'd be coming back. I thought so. Jack Jackson has 2 little boys by another woman. Dory Vardy. He's been living with her for 5 years. Jack Jackson's never coming back. Heartbreak Hotel. Time on the target, Miss Shaw. You have a lot of learning to do. I told you, some of these clients are walking a thin line. They've learned to play the system. Joyce Jackson will learn to play you. Study her files, Miss Shaw. There are tracks. Find them and we can prove Joyce Jackson's as crooked as a $3 bill.
All right. Now, what the hell's going on here, Steve?
Well, the supervisor, Emily's supervisor, is suspicious of Joyce.
For what, though?
Well, she thinks
she has other sources of income.
Yes.
Which is a problem if you're collecting welfare.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she also thinks she's delusional because of her admiration of Elvis.
Right, but that should qualify you for welfare, not disqualify you, being delusional. And
also the fact that her husband lives with another woman and has 2 children with her.
Yeah. But he also has 2 children with Roseanne.
Yeah.
So I don't see a reason at this point why he might not come back to her versus the other woman.
Well, I guess we'll all find out together.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Now, Joyce, she goes on an outing with her daughters and her best friend, Sandy, played by Oscar nominee Sally Kirkland.
Okay. What do you want me to do with that?
Well, I thought you would do what you do anytime I don't have this information. You would ask me which motion picture she was nominated for.
Which motion picture?
Anna.
Oh, I'm sorry?
Anna.
Never heard.
1987.
All right. What was that about?
Well, anytime I don't have the information, you ask me, what movie was that?
No, I mean, what was that movie about? Anna.
I have no idea. It was about a gal called Anna.
All right.
And the 4 of them, okay, here we have Joyce, we have her daughters, and we have Joyce's best friend, Sandy.
Yeah.
I was about to call her Anna because you confused me with the question you didn't ask. Okay, so they're all out for a stroll.
Yeah.
In Ottumwa, Iowa.
Okay.
And they happen upon Jack's live-in girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And Jack and the girlfriend's 2 sons.
Okay.
Jack is Joyce's husband, Chris.
Yeah, now again, I see no reason why he's got 2 kids with the one woman, 2 kids with the other. He might change his mind and come back to Roseanne. I don't see any reason why that's not a possibility.
Yeah, I guess all those kids leave a door open for sure.
Sure.
Okay, let's see what it
Let's
is.
take a look.
Joyce, hi! Who's these wild animals here? Hi.
Hi guys, come on, let's go shopping.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, better than I have a right to be.
Okay, yeah, now he's never coming back. Yeah. There's no way in hell he's going back to Roseanne.
Why, just this morning Jack was saying, honey, you're as happy as a bird. Yourself?
Fine.
You look like you lost a little weight, Sandy.
I wish. How do you manage to stay so thin, Dory?
Chasing after my 3 boys, I guess. Jack's out of work again, and I love him to death, but not underfoot.
Well, it's hard for him to keep a job. Not hard to get one, though. He sure makes a good impression. He does? Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah, then the past catches up with him, and, well...
Well, maybe it catches up to everybody.
Yeah, I thought it was a mistake when she said her 3 boys, and I've only just realized seeing this scene the 3rd time that she's referring to Jack and their sons as her 3 boys. Very clever.
Yeah, that's a cool thing for a woman to do is accuse her husband of being childish.
Yeah. Although boyfriend, not husband.
Whatever.
So what is this thing in Jack's past that makes it difficult for him to sustain employment? Well, Sandy knows and thinks Joyce ought to tell Scylla.
I'll be the day. He's not very big on emotional responsibility.
So is any man.
You gotta do it. Scylla finds out that her daddy was in prison for somebody else, she'll be devastated. You know she's gonna find out sooner or later.
Can't she be a child for a little bit longer? Isn't it bad enough that he ran out on him and fathered 2 half-brothers? My kids have been through enough.
Yeah.
Wow, man, how much longer? I'm already bored of this.
All right, well, we're getting there.
All right.
Bear with me, Chris.
All right.
So Emily takes Joyce on a supermarket run, and as they pass by a burnt-out home, Joyce spots a car for sale that she has to have.
All right.
It belongs...
This is picking up now.
Okay, here we go.
Right.
It's a classic vehicle.
Yeah.
It belongs to an old couple who are natural salespeople.
But I gotta sell it. Junk man offered me $450 for the parts alone.
How long have you had it?
Oh, well, let me think. I bought it off Frank Newman.
Who? Can you back up like 2 seconds, Jim? Who is this guy?
Oh, I don't know.
He looks really familiar.
Oh, so here's the question. There it was. You were saving it. I thought it was going to be the Oscar nomination.
What?
I thought you were going to ask me what motion picture Sally Kirkland was nominated for.
Anna.
Yeah,
we all know that.
No, well, we do now. So you stumped me with this one because I failed to have this in my notes. I have no idea who this man is.
Yeah. But he looks familiar, though.
He does look familiar, yeah.
He almost kind of look. When did they film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Oh, no, you're thinking of, I know you're thinking, was that Jack Albert? That wasn't Jack Albert.
I don't know, but he looks like the grandfather. For
yeah. No,
I feel like those 2 films were way too far apart.
Right.
Yeah, he'd be much older.
And he had probably passed away by 1992.
You would think so.
Yeah.
He took real good care of it.
That fire just swept over us August 16th, burned up everything in our lives.
August 16th. That's the day that Elvis died. You know, Elvis Presley would buy a car for anybody who showed him the least amount of pity or care.
Personal friends with the king, were you?
Elvis Presley. He's dead. What do I care about Elvis Presley?
Yeah, great sales tactic.
Yeah.
There's a real Glenn Ross going on in that trailer, Chris.
Yeah.
So Joyce buys the car, and Jack stops by to check it out.
But they said they didn't want to sell it. He said, I got $450 for the parts.
Right.
And
I think she only gave the man $300.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
So Jack stops by to check out the car, to the delight of his daughters. He figures there's a chance he can make it roadworthy.
Oh, okay.
His visit, however, is brief. Scylla and Lisa Marie want him to stay a little longer, but they're just pleased that he stopped by nonetheless. So Joyce visits Sandy, and here we introduce Ray, Sandy's boyfriend.
Okay. This is the guy who was back east?
No, Chris. That's Emily's fiance.
The
is
social
back east.
worker's
We don't see him
fiancé.
at all.
Yeah. See that okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll get to it.
Well, I'll tell you why, and this might ruin something, but I don't think it will. The only way to ruin this film, as someone once said, is to see this film.
Yeah.
We don't see Emily's fiance because that way we can't end up liking him.
Yeah. Right. Gotcha.
Okay. All right.
Do you remember that time that you smashed the front end of my truck? You ran right into the porch of that Torrance house. Jack comes running out with his pants half mast.
Hey, when will supper be ready? All you girls are doing is chewing the fat.
Oh, hold your horses, you slug. He's coming!
Yeah. Ray runs a tight ship.
I just spaced out. I have no idea what we just watched. I'm sorry, man.
Okay, they're at Sandy's house.
Okay.
Sandy's boyfriend, Ray, is in the living room watching television with Joyce's
that
daughters.
guy. Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, okay. And he makes comments as he awaits dinner. So the next day, Scylla has a confrontation with a boy outside the Jackson home. She pushes him off his bike after he calls the king a drug addict.
Okay.
Scylla is not best pleased with the male persuasion, and Joyce offers her advice.
Sometimes life just carries you off in its own direction, and you just do the best you can. But love, if you don't have it to give, then you just don't have it at all.
Well, I'm never getting married.
I am. I'm marrying Brown Bunny.
Weird.
Yeah, it looks like Lisa Marie is going to have a caseworker of her own. Now, for the sake of time and as a public service, we've cut out all of the Tom Arnold scenes so far.
Yeah.
There have been only a few, and they're not worth sharing, but we'll see just enough of him later.
Unless you really like watching a guy ride a motorcycle without a helmet. And this is your film.
Geez, I wonder if that's going to come to something. Again, his name is Jack in this. So Jack gets Joyce's car running. He has a temporary gig coming up in Des Moines.
Okay. Do we know what type of car this is?
I don't know.
It looks familiar. I know I've seen it before, but I couldn't place it.
Classic vehicle nonetheless. I guess it's from the 50s, it appears.
40s or 50s, yeah.
Well, he has a gig coming up in Des Moines, a temporary job.
DeSoto? Was that a car?
It was a car. I don't know if this is one of those.
I think that might be what it is. I'm gonna look it up.
Hey, okay.
Continue on.
Okay.
By all means.
Okay, so Jack's girlfriend, Dory, she is supposedly looking after her own mother. So while Jack's going to be away...
Oh, I'm way off.
He asked Joyce to take care of his sons during that time. Joyce agrees, and Jack thanks her for always being there for him. Now, when you say you're way off, you saw that the vehicle was not the one in this picture?
Yeah, I don't look anything like that.
But we haven't identified the vehicle.
No, we have not.
Okay, here's a 21st... I'm going to do a 21st century thing. You ready?
Okay.
Okay. Well, if you know the vehicle you've just seen in this picture, drop a comment below. And while you're at it, ring the bell.
All right. Now, are they going to get a DVD or a T-shirt?
We got to get the T-shirt thing happening. Okay. So Sandy and Joyce are tooling along in the newly restored vehicle with the radio on.
Jackpot question for $2,700 is, what was Elvis Presley's GI number? That's
533-10761. 533-10761! We got to find our phone! Quarter, give me quarter.
Yeah. Chris, the prize is $2,700.
Yeah, that seems like a weird... That was a weird contest to have, man. Like, wouldn't you want it to be like a fun fact? Or I don't know.
Well, I don't know how hot the 1980s radio wars were in the Ottumwa, Iowa, Kirkwood, Missouri market.
And it's got to be AM radio. I mean, that car is like 50 years old, right? So,
well, no, they might have a modern radio in the old car.
Yeah, it's possible. But, I mean, it was all right. Whatever. It was broken down in a trailer park. weeks before. All right, whatever.
Well, that seems like a lot of money for that market for that time.
I just kicked the microphone cord when that happened before it knocked out my sound.
Okay, Jim, can we
you
test
check to make sure that my sound?
Jim says everything's okay, which means I'm going to ask again. Jim, can you check the sound? Okay. Yeah. I realize this is a work of fiction, but $2,700 stationed in Ottumwa, Iowa, Kirkwood, Missouri. If it were real in an age before Google, I'd suspect this is a question that the promotions department would deem unanswerable, and the prize money doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
What was Elvis's GI number?
It's too much money. It's too weird of a question. It doesn't add up.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. So they find a payphone, call the station, and win the money. Now, of course, Sandy has to claim it so it won't interfere with Joyce's welfare payments.
Oh, so it's a scam. Okay.
Although she somehow put it into a college account for her daughters. I don't know how you do that without the welfare people knowing. And one of those daughters wants to marry a stuffed rabbit.
Probably not college material.
Right, Chris, that's like us putting money away so we can have a party and invite all of our friends and peers on the day their efforts have finally paid off and we've reached 80 subscribers. Sandy apparently hands the prize money over. And I think they should split it. That's not very Elvis-like of Joyce.
It's really shitty.
Yeah. Scylla would like to put some of that money to an immediate use.
Mom, can I get some new clothes? Real new clothes.
I told you the money's been put away.
If Dad had the money, he'd buy me new clothes.
Well, your dad doesn't have the money. I do.
You know, Mom, when Dad moved out, Elvis moved in. We'll see Elvis in this house before Dad comes back here to...
Yeah.
All right. Is this what's really going on, Steve? She's using Elvis as a replacement husband in her mind.
Well, I wouldn't say a husband. I think later on I will have some explanation for this.
Do you think she owns a vibrator with a picture of Elvis taped to it?
What I think is some of the money is going to immediate use. Yeah, so Emily shows up at Joyce's door, and Joyce insists she go along with her and Sandy.
Joyce is Roseanne?
Yes.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yes. Now, there's a subplot here that we haven't addressed.
Oh, Jesus.
Emily's supervisor, we did see her.
Right.
She's the one who's critical of all welfare recipients, keen to expose anyone for fraud.
Yeah.
Assuming everybody is pulling a stunt and wants to root them out.
Some people just need some help.
Yeah. Well, she is suspicious of Joyce's need for public assistance, but she's not Emily's boss. She's merely her supervisor. Her boss is a man called Howard, who is much more understanding of those whose cases the office oversees.
Okay.
We said earlier that Emily is engaged to a man in law school who is studying on the East Coast. Now, one evening, at the end of a difficult day, Emily calls her fiancé for some commiseration. He's not receptive. He's too busy studying with a female classmate to talk to Emily.
Oh, boy.
The call ends with Emily in tears. Now, Howard...
Yeah, that's not what you want to hear.
Emily's actual boss... Howard overhears this and invites her to dinner, and she agrees. Now, nothing more comes of it until now, when Howard happens to show up at the bar where Joyce, Sandy, and Emily are. Howard and Emily dance to copyrighted music, so we're not going to see this.
What was it? Hungry Heart?
It was an Elvis song. It was not Hungry Heart. You know, Elvis, Bruce wrote Fire for Elvis Presley, but he died before he could record it.
It's a shame.
So Emily and Howard wind up spending the night together. The next day, a Rees Company favorite makes a cameo.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Herb Manganus?
It's Herb Manganus.
I don't know what you're talking about. Goodbye.
Actually, it's an anonymous tipster accusing Joyce of welfare fraud for unreported income.
Joyce? Roseanne?
Yes, Roseanne.
Okay. Man, I didn't realize that fraud was such a big deal with the welfare thing. I thought they just handed out checks. I didn't know this is a whole Like, they're like half caseworker, half police officer, the way this is coming out. But
yeah. Let's check back in on the Jacksons.
If I knew that Priscilla was going to divorce Elvis in 1973, I would have called you Gladys. I think I gave you the right name.
Nobody in the world is named Gladys anymore. I like Scylla. If I'm gonna live in an Elvis shrine, I might as well be called Priscilla.
You think I put up that shrine for publicity or some other low reason?
I think you put up that shrine to replace Daddy.
Scylla says if Dad...
Yeah. I think you put up that shrine to replace Daddy.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier.
Yeah.
They probably found the vibrator.
And earlier we heard
This
Scylla
looks
say...
suspicious.
Scylla says earlier, when Dad moved out, Elvis moved in.
Yeah, right.
It reminded me of a real-life documentary I saw some time ago called Kiss Loves You.
Oh, boy.
And it follows a handful of fans of the band Kiss.
Sure.
And a couple of those fans grow disillusioned by the band for various reasons. And this is independent of one another, Chris. These fans don't know each other, but when they abandon Kiss, they both instead become equally devoted to Elvis.
Weird.
Not weird at all.
That's not even the same type of music.
It's rock and roll, yeah.
All right.
And the film doesn't draw this conclusion for you, but the viewer gets the sense it's because Elvis is dead and can't let them down.
Well, sure.
So there's a real-life precedent for what Scylla alleges here.
But you know who else is dead? John Lennon. Better music. I realized something about Kiss because I wasn't really a Kiss fan. But the more I just hear stuff every now and then, and I realized I think all the songs I like were written by Gene Simmons. So I guess I'm a Gene Simmons fan,
but not a Kiss fan.
Not so much the rest of the group. But, yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I think most Kiss fans would say they tolerate Gene.
Okay, all right.
Not necessarily his music, but his demeanor.
Well, yeah,
and his attitude.
He's kind of a jerk.
Well, I don't know about that. He has a different idea of what rock and roll and Kiss should be.
Yeah,
than the fans do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Joyce is formally charged with welfare fraud. Her benefits are cut pending a hearing. She has to sell the car.
Wait, I'm sorry.
The unidentifiable car. We had Google at our disposal. We cannot figure out what car this is, but it did exist at one point, perhaps in the 40s, perhaps in the 50s. Chris?
She's being brought up on fraud charges based on an anonymous tip over the phone?
Yes.
That's how things worked in 1982? You could just make a phone call and be like, all right, whatever.
Well, you also know
there should be some requirement of evidence.
But Emily's supervisor is bringing the hammer down on everybody. But Joyce is her nemesis for some reason. So she has an axe to grind, as they say, with this woman. So if anybody's going to be charged with this, she's going to be the first one charged. Joyce is.
Yeah, I got you. Are we going to see the dude that looks like Elio Castro Neves? You know who I'm talking about?
No, we're not going to.
Okay, all right.
I don't think we're going to.
All right.
If I'm wrong, let us know. So Joyce has to sell the car, and she does so without insulting the buyer's favorite artist. The buyer's name is Ben, and his daughter and Scylla are classmates. Now, Ben tells Joyce that Scylla isn't totally honest about her family's station in life.
Candies for the evening.
Where's the Starlight Coupe?
Sold it
It's a Starlight Coupe, Chris.
to Ben Wilkes, who thinks that your father and I are related to the Rockefellers. Sit down here.
I can explain, Mom.
I'm all ears.
I want to be a Babaloo. They're the best, you know. You can't be poor and be a Babaloo. How am I ever going to be one?
So these Babaloos don't even know the truth about you?
No. And you can't have a mother on welfare who tried to kill your father.
I didn't try to kill your father.
Oh, yes, you did. I saw you.
Liar.
Hey, Mom, I'm a chip off the old block. I saw you, Mom. You and Dad were fighting on the front lawn. You ran after him with a smashed bottle. You said you'd kill him.
There are things that happen between a man and a woman that you don't know about yet.
And I don't ever want to know. Dad runs off and you discover Elvis.
I always loved Elvis.
Oh, it's like living with a dead man. You know what I think? I think Dad's never coming back. Why come back to a crazy woman? He doesn't love us. He never did. You're going to be old and alone because I'm getting out of this
This is very sad for this kid. It's a sad way to grow up. But I just want to reiterate, he's definitely not coming back. And it's a Studebaker, the Starlight Coupe. It's Studebaker.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, hopefully it doesn't break down again. So Joyce decides it's time for Scylla to learn the truth about her father, Jack. So she phones him, who springs into action, Jack does. And, folks, we've put it off as long as we could. But we just can't put it off any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Arnold.
Wait. Pause. Did he pull his motorcycle onto the track?
Yes, he did.
What a dick.
Who's that trashy guy? My father. What are you gonna wear?
My good looks.
Well, pause. Well, you shouldn't ride unprotected, Tom.
All right.
Come on. A bunch of junior high school girls aren't going to be impressed by a 40-something-year-old dude pulling up on a Harley. Right? He's way too old for... I don't know. Whatever.
Well, no, they're not impressed. They're repulsed.
I got the wrong impression then.
No, the Bobaloos are none too thrilled with Jack's antics.
The Bobaloos are like the pink ladies of the school?
Yes. Right. And Scylla aspires to become one of them. But when she saw her father, she abandoned that aspiration and was just happy to see him. So what they do is Jack and Scylla, they ride off to more scenic whereabouts.
Yeah.
Some days are just bad, aren't they? Hey, I want to hear about these stories you've been telling.
What do you care, Dad? You weren't even around when I was born. Maybe you aren't even my real dad. My real dad wouldn't have dumped me, Mom, and Lucy Marie on welfare. Elvis wouldn't have left his daughter.
Scylla, I was in prison when you were born. Aggravated assault, 2 years.
Why did you leave Mom again? Why did you leave me?
Because I'm a good for nothing.
Do you love Dory? Then come back.
Two wrongs don't make a right. I can't leave my boys.
But you left us.
I was wrong.
Yeah, so they have this conversation that I guess happens in real life. Although I think for most, although it's possible, it just never happens, and for no good reason, but good for them. And they ride away together into a brighter future with a better understanding.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I used to have motorcycles, Steve. I used to enjoy riding, and there's nothing better to clear your mind and just like get into a peaceful place, and like you can think better. Like it's such a fun hobby. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Arnold relying on his good looks to protect himself is a bad strategy.
It's always a mistake. So, shall we head to the hospital as Emily arrives and gets an update from Sandy.
Oh, okay.
Sandy's boyfriend, Ray, you remember him, the heckler from the living room while Joyce and Sandy were making dinner?
Right.
He's also in the mix.
Sandy, thank you for calling me. Where's Joyce? She's in with Scylla. She has abrasions on her legs, but thanks to the old leather jacket, her upper body's completely protected and the helmet saved her life. What about Jack? He's still in the operating room. No helmet. He gave his to Scylla. The swelling was so severe from the head injuries that they couldn't wait to stabilize his condition, so they had to operate immediately.
I mean, we've established that Tom Arnold's character is kind of a dirtbag for leaving his kids.
Yeah.
But come on. I mean, look at this chick. And you're with Roseanne? I mean, come on.
No, Chris. He's not with any of these women in this scene.
That's the chick he's with, right?
No. Those of us who watch the movie know that she's not the woman he's with.
Well, who is she with?
Ray. This guy we're seeing right now on the right.
Oh, yeah. Then nothing I've been saying makes any sense.
And the fact that they're together, is about to become a huge plot point. Let's continue.
Then why did everyone laugh when I said? Well, because Jim didn't seen the movie either.
Because no, stop. Everybody laughed when you said he's not coming back because the woman in that scene was the woman he's actually with.
Oh, that lady.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was this lady.
No.
Okay.
All right, let's continue.
Ray, will you sit down? The pacing is making me nervous.
I'll stop being a goofy broad. I gotta move.
You're the anonymous caller.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So Sandy, who is not with Jack, she is shocked and tells Ray to vacate her home. So he leaves the scene. Emily's supervisor, we just saw her.
You'd be inclined to think that she recognized his voice, and that's how she identified him.
Yeah.
But he probably just is the only person on earth who uses the phrase goofy broad.
I misspoke a moment ago. I said Emily's supervisor. We saw her. We did not. She then appears, the supervisor.
Oh, good.
And despite all that's going on around her, now accuses Emily of conspiracy to fraud for, I guess, being a concerned human being and being by Joyce's side as her family faces this crisis. Now, Howard, he's the real boss.
Okay.
And Emily's love interest, he shows up and dismisses the supervisor. Trust me, Chris, I'm sparing the folks a lot.
I just can't keep up. I just can't keep up with it.
Oh, okay. But the parade of characters is not over. It's like night court in this waiting room.
Yeah.
Dory, Jack's girlfriend,
only funnier. Have you seen the new Night Court?
Yes, I have.
Oh my god!
But I only saw the two debut episodes. So you have to establish things, reestablish things.
Yeah, I guess there was a good joke. Well, you saw it, the Golden Girls joke at the end of the second episode.
Oh, you're acting like I remember it. I watched it, but I don't.
Well, yeah, there was a funny joke at the end of the second episode, but yeah, oof.
All right, so Dory, she's Jack's actual girlfriend.
Okay.
You've seen her before. When you see her now, you're going to say, oh, yeah, she's the woman I said. Oh, yeah, Jack's not coming back.
Right.
Okay, well, she shows up as well, but not to check on Jack, but to collect her kids, who are actually back at Joyce's house with Sandy at this point. Dory, Jack's girlfriend, she's running away to Texas with some winners she's been seeing, and Emily delivers the most awkward line in the film.
Dory, I can see that Pete is your chance for happiness, and I'm happy for the both of you, and I'm happy to see you go. But you're not taking the boys.
Come on, Sugarloaf. We can settle down in Texas and we'll send for them.
The boys will be fine with us, Dory. Go ahead, go.
You know what Elvis says. It's now or never.
Yeah.
What did Elvis say?
It's now or never.
Right. I'm so confused. Who is? I thought this woman was the one that was in the tight clothes. This is a whole different woman?
Who they met on the street?
Yeah.
That is the woman they met on the street.
So then
the woman you were in the last scene identifying as Jack's girlfriend was Sandy, Joyce's best friend. And you know what drives me crazy, Chris? The
look so
people watching
similar.
are getting very frustrated, I'm sure, wondering why you can't grasp who the characters are.
Because they look the same.
And they're tired of me explaining things they already know.
They look. Is it the hair? The big hair, 80s hair? They look the same.
They do not look the same.
I don't know. They look the same to me.
All right. So Jack wakes up with Joyce by
Do you
his
want me
side.
to shut up for the rest of the episode?
No. I never want. Chris, it's a talk show. People need to talk. I honestly think you're the only person party to this episode who was confused by anything within it.
I don't know, man. There's so many names, and we don't. I can't. They look the same.
Well,
so when I said he's never coming back, we all laughed.
Yes.
That was funny.
Yes.
That was the woman he's living with.
And that's the woman we just saw. Yes.
Yes.
But in the previous scene, it was another woman who we've seen multiple times throughout this episode.
She was
a completely different person.
When
the Oscar nominee, Chris.
When the little girl was behind her mocking her.
Yes.
That was who?
That was the woman we just saw who's moving to Texas with another man who is not Jack, who is her boyfriend.
But she has 2 sons with Jack.
She does.
All right. All right.
See, you watch this on your phone with the sound off. I think that's possibly the problem
You think
here.
that may
Am
have
I
caused-
wrong? Am I wrong?
You
Is
think that may have caused some issues?
I think it did. All right. So Jack awakens, and Joyce is by his side. We're led to believe.
Now, I'm sorry to interrupt again.
Okay.
But who's the character who looks like that woman from Planet of the Apes?
All right, come on. Well, that kind of saved you, Chris. That saved you.
I thought she was white.
So,
we're having fun here tonight.
yeah, we are. Everything's fine. Relax.
This was not a good movie by any. We're trying to make the best of it.
You're not going to recommend this one? So I just want to explain what happens here. Jack wakes up with Joyce by his side, and we're led to believe they reunite and raise all of their kids together. Anything you want to say, Chris, before we do the YouTube comment?
Wait, I'm sorry. What did you just say? How did the movie end? He wakes up and she tells him what? They're all 4 of the kids are gonna move in with them.
I thought it was the provider said that you're almost out of minutes. No, Chris, that's not how it ends.
I thought that's what you just said. I'm sorry.
Data. I meant to say data. No, Roseanne is beside Tom.
Right.
He wakes up.
I remember seeing that.
And they reconcile, I guess, and it's assumed that they will join forces and raise their respective kids and their common kids together.
That's what I just said.
Okay. Anything you want to say before we do the YouTube comment?
No. I mean,
no, there's something you want to say.
Yeah, but I don't think Dr. Zayas is what we should be talking about.
All right, relax. Okay, let's check out the YouTube comment. Again, this is not a comment under our program. This is a comment under the version of this movie that we watched on YouTube. And it's by a gal called Gina Bizarro's Ghosts. On top of being a longtime Roseanne fan, I can relate to her obsession with Elvis. Because I'm pretty much the same way with Freddie Mercury. Now, I can understand that, appreciating Freddie Mercury in the same regard that a lot of people do Elvis. But I just can't imagine that stupid face staring at you from all angles of a living room.
What, Freddie Mercury?
Yes. All right, you want to rate this?
Sure.
All right.
1.
1 Meredith Baxter?
Yeah.
Your reasoning?
This is the only film where I intended to go back and rewatch it with sound, but when I got to the end, I was like, nah, why bother?
All right. Well, I watched it twice, and for that reason, I'm giving it 2 Meredith Baxters. I actually like the story. I don't think it was badly done. I don't even think it was badly acted. And perhaps it's unfair, but Tom Arnold appearing in anything takes you out of that very thing.
You don't like Tom Arnold?
He's a distracting force.
I don't think he was the problem here, man. You ever see True Lies?
Yeah.
He's good in that, right? What else has he been in? I can't even think of anything.
Yeah, exactly. The Stupids?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah. All right, well, in that case, I think we did it. Chris, anything you'd like to talk about we haven't talked about? At my peril.
I'd like to talk more about Planet of the Apes, but I don't think that's going to happen.
All right, in that case, I think we did it. For Jim Corhan, Chris Morgani, I'm Steve Rees. Ask you, baby.
Ask you what.
Tigers. Edom Raleigh did it.